Now I will invite Dr. Jim Wisso, the Assistant Superintendent for Academic Services, to introduce the recognition of our stellar Fine Arts Department. Dr. Wisso.
Thank you, President Bender. Given that March is the month that we celebrate the arts nationally on many levels, it's with great pleasure, and given that we have one of the finest arts programs in all its forms in Plano ISD in the state, and I'd say in the nation, it gives me great pleasure to welcome Kathy Cuttis to the podium to share a few words and celebrations about our arts program.
Thank you. Thank you, President Bender, Dr. Bingley, staff and guests. On behalf of the staff and teachers and students of the Fine Arts Department, I want to thank you for this opportunity to share with you and with our community just a few quick words about our program and their impact as we kick off March, which is Youth Art Month, Music in Our Schools Month, and Theater for Life Month around the nation. A very special thank you to Marlon Flores from Frankford Middle School. Marlon shared his rendition of Bach's First Cello Suite from memory, you might have noticed, in the lobby prior to this evening's meeting. The Texas Cultural Trust recently released their annual State of the Arts report, and included in this document are the results of a statewide survey of parents. Here are just a few of the key findings. 92% of Texas parents have a positive opinion of arts education. 95% of Texas parents believe the arts should be taught in the Texas public schools. And 85% of Texas respondents agreed that arts education should be included at every grade level. 89% of Texas respondents believed that art and music electives are as important as athletics in middle school and high school. 74% of parents report that art was one of the classes their child looked forward to at school. And 9 out of 10 Texas parents support increased funding for Texas arts education. An analysis of the TCA research in 2015 also demonstrated that students in districts that met state accountability standards had more than twice the unique arts courses to choose from and earned up to 26% more arts credits than students in districts needing improvement. The secondary schools that met the state accountability standard offered 50% more unique arts courses on average than schools needing improvement. And middle school and high schools in districts that met the state accountability standards offered more than twice as many unique arts courses on average than schools in districts needing improvement. We know that changes to the state accountability system are coming, and that the current plan places little if no emphasis on the availability, much less the quality or diversity of arts courses being offered in Texas schools. We are most grateful to you as our leaders in Plano ISD to have taken an active role in supporting access to a robust and varied arts curriculum at all levels. Thank you. According to the TCA report, employment in what they refer to as the creative sector, that is jobs relying heavily on critical thinking, innovation, and creativity, currently represent 1 in 15 positions, and the sector is projected to increase 20% by 2024. In their 2017 survey, 92% of all respondents agreed that creativity and innovation are important skills. Work in this creative sector is highly lucrative. The TCA reports that 1/4 of these jobs reside here in the North Texas area and represent more than 200,000 positions with an average salary of $81,000 per year. 78% of all parents responding to the TCA survey indicated they would encourage their child to take more arts courses upon learning that creative occupations pay significantly more than some other jobs. The current year Plano ISD initiatives state a focus on closing the opportunity and achievement gaps through pervasive learner-focused support, and on building support and valuing an innovative, learning and mission-driven organizational culture. I'd like to share just a few ways in which our department and our programming are working to support these initiatives. Just in the past months, we have successfully leveraged partnerships with several of our local community arts organizations to directly close the opportunity gap for music students through 3 specific programs. First, for the second year in a row, the Plano Community Band has brought their Music for Life program to 2 of our Title I middle school band programs. This year, these high-performing local musicians visited Frankfurt and are actually at Armstrong Middle School as we speak tonight. They learn the UIL repertoire being prepared by the school band and spend an afternoon working with them in sectionals and giving a side-by-side concert for the parents. Then these students are their special guests at the community band's concert, their spring concert, and hear their pieces performed by the community band under the direction of their school directors. The Plano Symphony Orchestra, as you may have heard, has recently announced their new scholarship program to provide a year of private lessons for at least 5 deserving economically disadvantaged instrumental students in our public schools. And the Men of Note, a local men's chorus, have done the same for a young male singer in our schools for this spring. We currently offer more than 100 diverse artistic elective courses for high school students to choose from. In addition to the advanced placement 2D, 3D, studio, art history, and music theory courses, we also offer students at the IB World School the opportunity to take visual art, dance, or theater as part of their program. Some of the newest additions to our course offerings are the Art and Media Communications courses, which allow students the opportunity to bridge traditional art skills with new technology applications through guided explorations into contemporary practices across the visual and commercial arts fields. We have recently rewritten our basic music theory curriculum to reflect the broadened scope of the revised TEKS, which offers students opportunities to listen to, analyze, perform, and create music from various styles, genres, and we have renamed this course Music Studies to better reflect the content. Next year, we will offer a musical theater elective at our senior high schools for the first time. This course is a cross-disciplinary offering to provide support for students who wish to refine their abilities and combine the skills of acting, singing, and dancing in their creative work. We continue to refine and develop our program offerings to support the latest and innovative best practices in arts education to develop skilled, creative problem solvers and risk takers to contribute to our community and beyond. Each of us work actively to recruit and retain the best teachers in our respective fields. And I would like to take a moment to thank our centralized fine arts team, Laura Grundler, our visual art coordinator, Jeremy Conrad, our instrumental music coordinator, and Greg, our theater arts coordinator, for their great work supporting these programs. March is a very busy month for our arts educators, and many of them are with students tonight as we meet. But I would like to ask any of you, any of our fine arts teachers who were able to be here tonight to stand and let us thank you as well for your work in the classrooms. Up you go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. I could stand here all night and share the great work of our students and staff, but in the interest of my time and yours, I will spare you that tonight. So we have prepared once again our annual brag book for you with some of the latest news about our programs and the accolades that they have received, both at the group level and at the individual level, staff and students. We hope that you'll take a moment to review the successes of recent months. You might have even seen some things in this week's e-news. Finally, just a simple word of thanks to each of you and to our wonderful community for your ongoing support of great arts education that makes a difference in the lives and futures of the students of Plano ISD. Thank you all very much.
Any comments from board members?
Go ahead.
I just want to offer my thanks as well. Both of my children benefited from arts programs in Plano, my daughter in dance and my son in music. And I want to give a shout out to Mr. Preston Pierce, who is the jazz band director at Plano West, taking his students to the essentially Ellington competition in New York. Only 15 jazz bands across the nation were selected. It's not only the learning of the music, it's the teamwork, it's the camaraderie, it's the lifelong friendships. When my son comes home from college, the kids he hangs around with are the band kids. And so I want to thank you all for creating that type of community.
So if you have not had a chance to look at this, and I know many people have not, try and get your hands on one, because it doesn't take very long to page through this to see some impressive statistics. And I would go to page 1. In the AP Arts category, we had 724 AP exams administered. And to say that we are one of the best in the country, this is the evidence. Our 3 senior highs are 1st, 2nd, and 6th in the state of Texas in passing scores, and ranked 2nd, 4th, and 22nd nationally. That's amazing. And when you say we are one of the best, here's the evidence. And so congratulations to you guys, not only for this, but for all of what you've created and all of what our students do. And you know, the last thing in that same category, the whole myth of the starving artist, which I know is not a myth all the time, but there were $10 million in scholarships earned by students. So that comes out with the number of students who receive scholarships, with that number across the district is 35,000 on average. And that's real money for real education and real progress.
David, you didn't point out that they passed that AP exam at a 91% passing rate. That's money in their parents' back pocket when they go to college, because that AP exam counts for college credit. So they're that much further ahead in pursuing and finishing college. So that's a good point that you brought out all these stats. And I was a band mom, and you know, there's nothing to deny how much fun that is, and what the kids learn, and the camaraderie, and the trips they take, everything. It's more than just being in a band class. So thank you.
Well, I just want to say that my children were not very involved in the fine arts department, but my husband is an avid fan, and so we go to more concerts now, and we go to more choral things throughout the entire district than I've ever been to. And it's been really good, because now I don't have to worry about the kids or whatever. We just have a good time and go. So thank you for having this for the community as well as for the kids.
I wanted to add something, Kathy. The fifth grade music day that you hold, I think plays a big role in the enrollment that we have, and then the fact we make it mandatory in 6th grade, I think is very important. You talked about creative jobs, and something that's important is that music plays on a very certain area of the brain, and that area is responsible for creativity, not just the type of creativity that we looked at the slides, the creativity of music and dance, and it's the type of creativity that's needed in any business. So there's a book called "This Is Your Brain on Music" that I think is an important read. But I managed to get one of my daughters through the entire the entire program. She's graduating from Plano West this year, doing orchestra for all those years. So the other one, not so much, didn't want to. But it's important, it's critical, and it's not only for starving artists, it's for successful business people too. So thank you.
So I'll wind this up. You know that we are big fans of the fine arts, and that's not new. I think the boards over time have consistently demonstrated the value that we place in the fine arts instruction and the options that students have, because we want everybody to find their place. And there are so many of our students who find their place here. That's one point I'll make. The other point is that the quality of what we do in fine arts, so I'm a choir mom, and I was a choir kid here too. But, so going to all of these competitions and the all-state process and the UIL process, we rock it all across the board. So just, not only are we offering great chances, choices for kids, we're providing great quality of the experience and instruction. So I think that our community values that. And I'm hopeful that as we'll talk about legislative stuff later in the meeting, but as we work to put together our own scorecard about how are we doing, how we do on these kinds of things matters. So congratulations on Fine Arts Month.
And I should have thought, now that you, well, Ms. Bender talked about the things the community values it. I'll give a shout out that goes to two directions. Greg, you're gonna love hearing this. So I'm speaking to Kiwanis, right? And we started talking about RSVP, which is we started last year for our senior citizens to stay connected to our schools. Now we have over 1,000. There were 4 card-carrying members at the Kiwanis breakfast. And so one of them explained to the fellow Kiwanis individuals that he could use that, and he took his grandson to In the Heights. And he just started telling everybody in that room, you can't believe the talent of those kids. I just said, let me drink some coffee, you go ahead and preach on it. And so I want to tell you that these were citizens, and maybe for the first time came into our programs and couldn't stop talking about what our kids were doing and the quality of that. So thank you for that.